Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mansplaining Mike. This is the Mansplaining Mike Show. And I just want to apologize. I was wrong about Jonathan Mills being on the ground that day. But as far as I'm concerned, and as far as anybody's been able to show me, everything else I was pretty much right about. I was wrong about his name. I was wrong about him being ordered not to take the shot. But that doesn't mean that the Secret Service wasn't ordered to stand down. In fact, they were ordered not to protect the building because of the slopes on it, and that's the building that the shooter was on. But those slopes don't even make any sense using that as an excuse. As you can see here, there were snipers that worked for the Secret Service on a more steep slope than that one. So that's why I tend to believe that they had something to do with this, or they at least had to be complicit in it some type of way. I mean, they can keep saying it was a mistake, but when there's so many mistakes that it adds up to complicity, then maybe they're complicit. I mean, there's even stories about the shooter's parents calling into the police and reporting that he was gone and that they were worried about him and that they thought he could be up to something.
We have just learned that the Trump rally shooter, Thomas Crooks' parents were looking for him in the hours leading up to the shooting. We're now told they eventually called law enforcement to report that Crooks was missing, and they were worried. And they also were told, those parents are now being cooperative now with authorities, but they gave them the heads up that something's going on with our son. We are worried. We don't know the texture or the details of their concerns. So in other words, well, were they worried that he had a gun? Were they worried? What were they worried about? Were they worried that he was going to try to attempt to kill a sitting president and then go ahead and turn into an assassin and kill another person and injure two others? It was an attempted assassination on Trump, but he managed to murder anyway. Are we talking about that? What were they giving the cops a heads up about? This is the first time we are hearing this. We'll stay on the story and we will bring you the details, updates as we get them. Crooks' parents were looking for him hours ahead of the assassination attempt.
Now take that into account with the fact that he was spotted 30 minutes ahead of the shooting. There's something not right. That stuff doesn't add up. These many mistakes don't happen. When there's this many mistakes, there has to be some type of accountability taken. And there has to be some type of blame put forth. And if we're going to blame somebody, we have to blame the Secret Service. It was their job to protect Donald Trump. You can also blame the local police for whatever they had to do with it. But it wasn't much at all. And let's not forget about his Blackrock ties. Thomas Crooks also did commercials for Blackrock when he was younger. Let's take a look at that commercial right here.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
You can see him there at 19 seconds. That, and let's not forget the slope story. I'm going to bring it back up because we have a sniper that was testifying about it to CNN. Corey Mills, who's also a Republican representative member. So there's the slopes. And then here's Corey Mills' testimony on CNN.
Done thousands of advances. I've done thousands of counter sniper operations with our teams in Iraq and Afghanistan, etc. The amount of negligence, the amount of mistakes that was made here, I have a very difficult time not leaning myself towards this was intentional as opposed to fecklessness.
But wait, talk to me about that. I actually heard you say this right the day after, which I wanted to ask you about. What do you mean intentional? I mean an intentional failure on the part of...
No, I wouldn't say an intentional failure on the part of, but I gotta just, I sit here and I scratch my head. You don't want to be the conspiracist. You don't want to be the person.
I'm telling you, because that's what it's leaning toward.
No, I know, and that's the issue, is that you walk this fine balance of, you're not trying to be a conspiracist, but you look at it and you go, how could this have gone so...
But it's one thing if someone on the street says it. It's another. I mean, you, Corey Mills, member of Congress, former sniper, you saying it, I mean, it makes my eyebrows go up. When you say you're walking the line on this, intentional what?
You know, it almost seems to me, and I think that an investigation is necessary at this point within Congress, not just the FBI, not just others. You know, I look back at it and I'm thinking, all right, for an individual, if you looked at the escalations and how they are trying to approach him, let's just say that it was like, okay, first we want to censor and silence you, then we want to indict and imprison you. Now we're attempting to kill you and take you off the stage.
Then you also have Dan Bongino's opinion too. If my opinion, Corey Mills' opinion, and everybody else's opinion isn't enough for you. I mean, my opinion isn't an expert opinion. I grew up in the military academy, but I didn't go to the military. So my opinion is, I guess, novice at best. But I think in this case, I was definitely right. So let's just call it balls and strikes down the middle. I was wrong about a name, but I was right about the situation. And here's Dan Bongino's opinion on the matter as well.
So I was just showing Tucker some material from an unimpeachable source, let's just say, on the matter. That post, according to my source, that roof was supposed to be a police post. It was supposed to be someone there. They're now making up excuses, saying the pitch of the roof. My source says to me no one knows why the post didn't show up. But so that's a nonsense story they're putting out in the media. And I was also told that the Secret Service director has been given instructions from the administration and the DHS secretary. You want to keep your job, you'll keep your mouth shut about this. They're not putting that out there, but if you get those site post logs and those police instructions and there was a post on there and they didn't show up and no one checked, someone could have got your dad killed within millimeters.
And again, I can't stress that they saw him 30 minutes ahead of time. So they had phone calls from his parents. They spotted him 30 minutes in advance. They had a police officer that went up on the roof and then ended up backing down when the shooter had a rifle. There was too many coincidences for this just to be called an accident. At some point, we have to hold people accountable and just say, hey, look, you had to be complicit at some point. There was just too many opportunities to stop this from happening. And then, again, let's not forget this very odd Blackrock commercial, and you'll see him at 19 seconds. I just want to stress that fact that that's him at 19 seconds.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, you know, that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
When something smells fishy, call it a fish, because something isn't right about all of this. Anyways, guys, that's my opinions. If yours align with me, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me, guys. I'll keep coming out with more information, and as there's more updates having to do with this shooting, I'll keep updating this situation as well. Again, sorry I was incorrect about the name of the sniper, but at the end of the day, I think the rest of the reporting was pretty accurate. You guys have a good one. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics.